Hey, Tony Gasson here, popping in for another episode of Talks with Tony. Now we just going right along. As long as the letter has some detail to it, I can get through it. Now this one says Tindler Swindler from UK. So I don't know if it's a question or just a story. Hi, Tony. I hope you're well. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our stories. I am 30 years old and from the UK. I'm not sure if you're only taking stories from people who are willing to go on camera, but just in case you're reading any stories out, I'll share my experience. I met my current partner on Tinder. Looking at his profile seemed like a nice guy. I accidentally swiped left on him, but as we were a match, he proceeded to message me. I responded out of politeness, but kept it brief. He seemed nice after a few messages, so I agreed to share my phone number to enable us to communicate outside of the app. He rang me almost immediately, and we clicked. The conversation was great. It was as if we were long lost friends who hadn't spoken to one another in a long time. The first phone call was 2 hours long. The reason it ended was purely because we both had work the next day. He messaged me throughout the day and called me that evening. Again, we spent hours on the phone and the conversation was great. A week later, he told me he loved me. I know what you're thinking. However, our connection felt so strong that I said that I loved him too. Things were moving extremely fast and I didn't feel any doubt or alarm bells popping off in my head. None whatsoever. Fast forward 6 months. Since day one, we would talk on the phone daily and text throughout the day. He lives 2 hours from me, so we only really saw each other over the weekend. Every weekend. This is important to highlight because I didn't realize at the time that he was monopolizing all of my free time. I had moved to the area and was yet to make any friends, but because I spent every weekend with him, I didn't have the chance to meet new people and make any friends. He would make me feel guilty for wanting weekends to myself. One weekend, he asked me to move in with him. I refused. We still live apart, on the grounds that I won't live with a man that I'm not married to. This is because I lost 35,000 euros, maybe that is, living with my ex and will never make the same mistake again. He mirrored my interests and values almost perfectly due to the hours and hours spent talking on the phone. I realize now that I did the majority of the talking. He knew me inside and out. I admit, I followed your advice concerning the phone calls, but I didn't realize that there is such a thing as too much time. It's time that they use to learn as much as they can in as little time as they can without putting in any effort. A phone call is not a lot of effort, really and truly. He never took me out on dates. Instead, he'd cook for me, but that stopped after a while. One day he randomly said, "Did you feel like I love bombed you?" This was a strange question to ask. I asked him to clarify what it meant. I knew, but I wanted to see where this was going. To which he explained that it's when a person showers another with attention and love incessantly to the point where the intensity clouds their ability to see the love bomber for who they truly are. I felt my guts hit my toes. I felt sick, but I ignored this feeling and answered his question by stating, "I don't think so, do you?" He responded with, "No, just read it somewhere." Anyway, to avoid writing a long email, he proposed to me and I said yes. I know. Once the ring was on my finger, I realized how quickly he changed. His anger problems came out where he would slam doors and punch walls. I warned him that if he ever put me in a position again, he'd never see me. This was after 72 hours of silence as I left his house and drove the 2 hours home in the middle of the night. I'm applying a lot of your lessons, but I'm still falling short in other areas. One thing I will say is that he was able to pick me out from the crowd of Tinder candidates. He told me that my profile seemed nice. I came across as ambitious. I'm a director in healthcare and stupidly included my occupation in the bio. And I must have money as I could be seen driving a 2021 Audi A7 Sportback. He asked to see my pay slips. randomly and asked if I had savings. He could see from my Instagram stories that I fly business class, which he commented on too. It all became clear to me when he asked me to move in and he asked me to pay more than half of his mortgage plus half his bills. He made plans on how he would utilize my income to get himself a new car, etc. It's a tangled mess. I love him, but I know that he's not the one for me. I feel used and very conflicted. Another red flag is that he's only ever had girlfriends from online dating. He's been on them all, never been engaged. His longest relationship was 3 years, but only because she helped pay his rent. Once she lost her job, he kicked her out. Typing all this out, I have my answer. Gotta go. I'll book a session with one of your coaches. The more I type this, the stronger my realization. Thank you, Tony, for all that you do. God bless you. God bless you now. God bless you. Yeah, go on about your business. I hope you have the strength to actually leave. I really hope you have the strength to actually leave. But from what I done seen and read from y'all, I don't know if you're going to have the strength to leave. But I really hope you have the strength to leave. Please get out of there. And now you learned the lesson. Nah. That Audi 2021 Sportback, is you in the Blessed Tribe? Is you in the Blessed Tribe? Is you on the Patreon? You out here about to get used for all this good money you making in healthcare and ain't even on the Patreon. Like, my goodness. Out here writing me letters and ain't even on the Patreon. Patreon in the description of the video. I hear you 2021 Audi A7 Sportback. This man out here swindling. I know about these Audis now, but okay, yeah. They American money probably be around probably be around 55,000-60,000 over here in our money. Oh no, around 70,000 for a used one. Over there in your money, a used one with 2,300 miles on it is 59,950. That's a lot of money. It's a A7. Yeah, you over there making some good money. And you showed that on online. Oh yeah, he coming for you. Hold on now. Cause my rain going off. Y'all forgive me. Cause I'm supposed to be getting a package from my wife. That Amazon, and he dressed Amazon worker. You know, Drewski, the comedian. That's what an Amazon worker dressed like. Look like he wasn't doing one of his skits. So listen to me. Yeah, you learned the lesson. You flying business class. You happy about your success. I was about to say your little success. That's a flaw that a lot of us black people have. We be calling people stuff love. I was about to say you happy about your little success, and you showing it on the dating app. I wish y'all leave these dating apps alone. But yeah, that's a prime way to get you a gold digger there. Next letter. Oh Lord, this thing here got all kind of details in this little old font. Whoo. Man, I don't know if this got anything to do with relationships. It's a journal entry. Dear Mr. Tony Gaskins, in the time that I am writing you, I am a 26-year-old Nigerian American currently living in Nigeria with my parents. Sister, I probably ain't gonna be able to help you, because I really don't know much about cultures outside of America, and I never been in Nigeria, so stuff is cultural. So you got to understand that right there. But because you are a person and you are here and you sent this letter and I done started, I'm going to read it. But I'm just letting you know right now, I might not be able to help you too much. I wanted to emphasize the fact that I am Nigerian American. Although I was born in the United States, I was raised by my Nigerian parents in a Nigerian household. My parents did not deprive my siblings and I of their culture, and we frequently visited Nigeria every year since the age of 2. All that to say that I know where I come from and I know who I am. Now, I ain't never seen that much in parentheses. But the sister had that in the parentheses now. I am emailing you because I have a question about friendships and singleness. Ever since I can remember, I have always had an issue making and keeping friendships with males and females alike. I have been told that I am obsessive, that I am too flirtatious, that I am a tease, that I act differently whenever people are around as opposed to when I am alone, that I am too nice, or that I am unintelligent, thus unworthy of conversation. I will admit I am awkward when first meeting people, as I am always trying to gauge the atmosphere and assess how I should act around people. But I don't think I'm flirtatious. I just like to laugh and be funny, and I don't think I'm obsessive. I like to keep to myself, and I barely text people, and most people don't like to talk on the phone, which is what I prefer. To give some background, in the friends department since graduating from high school, because to me everything before the age of 18 to 19 was trial and error, and the lessons learned in that time period have guided my adult life. I have met women who have been jealous of me, tried to sabotage my character and my networking ability, women who have tried to sleep with me, women who have spread rumors about me, women who have yelled at me and ostracized me for not conforming to their ways, and women who have tried to gatekeep other people from me. On the male side, I have met men who have tried to force themselves on me, attempted to R me, the R word, been aggressive and possessive towards me, called me a tease or obsessed with them. Men who have called me bipolar for not sleeping with them, men who have called me stuck up, and men who have tried to set me up in situations that could have put me in danger. But as God is my witness, I've managed to come out of my past hurdles with barely any scratches on me and continue to hold my head up high. Well, until this last incident. Keep in mind, at this point, I only have 3 very close friends, and I thank God for them every chance I get. From September 2020 to September 2021, I traveled to the United Kingdom to complete a master's program. Of course, I was excited as I was going to be in a new place for a whole year, and I hoped to make some connections. In turn, for attempting to put myself out there, I had a young woman call me a WHOR. Another young woman become obsessed with me, calling me and texting me every day like I was her little girlfriend. And another young woman who tried to stir up drama about me because I wasn't hanging out with her as much after an altercation. On the male end, I had a man try to force himself on me and hump my arm. Yes, hump, like a dog trying to get my attention. And he stalked me for about 4 months until I filed a complaint against him with the help of campus security. I had another young man who I was hanging out with tell everyone that we were dating, and another young man who told me that we weren't going to work out, which left me confused because he basically insinuated that I was flirting with him for making conversation and exposed the fact that he wanted to sleep with me. That is until I wasn't a good fit. I have been consciously abstinent since November of 2020, and probably longer, but I made up my mind completely in November of 2020. I do not drink. I partake in smoking the reefer every now and again, and I do not attend kickbacks/parties unless one female friend is there. When I was in the UK, I went on a weekend-long party/birthday bash, and I drank somewhat. During the weekend-long festivities, I almost got into a fight with a young lady who thought I was trying to, quote unquote, BAHO and take her man because he was talking to me. Later found out he was just the community DIC who slept with everyone. Was accused of being a SLU because 3 other young men were talking to me and getting me drinks. And then accused of being a loser because I wasn't drinking to the point of intoxication. I don't like to drink because I don't like getting drunk. And a lot of the young ladies at this party were getting drunk and I didn't like that. Needless to say, the weekend was the last time I did that for the remainder of my stay. She meant the remainder of my stay in the UK. To keep my mind occupied, I simply focused on my studies, walked around the parks and gardens, studied at small cafes, and hung out with maybe 2 classmates in the evening. I'm not trying to make this too long, so Mr. Gaskins, I have prayed and prayed to make more connections and find my tribe of people / friends that I can get along with for a majority of my adult life. My experience in the UK has left me almost bewildered, and I feel as though I might not be cut out for the things in life I yearn for because of my inability to connect with people for a long amount of time. If there is any advice that you might be able to give me, it would be appreciated. From a loyal follower. What I would tell you is that this is life. It sounds as if maybe coming up you were sheltered, that your parents kind of sheltered you. It sounds like you could have went to private school. It's very interesting if somebody raised in Nigeria and go to the UK for a master's. That's a pretty big deal. You know, to me, I'm pretty sure people from less fortunate areas may do that, but in my mind, from what I've seen, is people who are pretty well off, and you know, you're born in the United States, but you're raised by your Nigerian parents in a Nigerian household. You currently live in Nigeria with your parents. You're 26 years old, so you've been in America, you've been in Nigeria, and you've been in the UK. That sounds kind of like a life of privilege to me. Now, you could be from lower economic class and just got some great grants and opportunities, but to me that sounds like a life of privilege. And a lot of times with a life of privilege, or whether it was depending on, no matter what your parents earn, sometimes you just don't see life. But I can almost guarantee almost every woman, if she told her story, a man has tried to force himself on her, a man has got crazy with her, a woman has tried to hit on her, a woman has made rumors about her. I think that your issue is you have a long-term memory instead of a short-term memory. You need to have a short-term memory. So you need to be able to not take stuff so seriously and not take it like it's just a reflection of you. And you also got to understand that humans will human. And so that's a part of what you're going through. You're dealing with humans. You're 26 years old. This honestly really is normal life. You know, it's I would say at minimum of 50% of people go through those same exact experiences, but it probably is 80 to 90%. So it just life. And I heard Zig Ziglar say, if you want friends, be more friendly. Meaning, if you want to find more friends, have more, be more of a good friend. Like, be a better person. And I think we start to attract what we are, what we become. People who are not good people, you just gonna sense their spirit, and you're not gonna want to be around them. And in every joke, they say it's 50% true. So if more than one person has called you obsessive, there may be some truth to it. Based on how you wrote the email and what the email was about, it sounds like to me that you are a little too in your head. And so that may be a personality thing. It may be coming up, you know, spending a lot of time by yourself. It may be from reading a lot of books and just kind of having like Fantasyland mind and just having like an active mind. So you may need to read some books on confidence. I'm reading a book on confidence right now, books on mindset, and it'll help you with your self-talk. And if you help yourself with your self-talk, then it'll change your outlook on the world. It'll change your outlook on life. I heard it said by something Manias and then used by Stephen R. Covey that we don't see the world for what it is, we see the world for what we are. So it so I got a mentee who's a black male, and he doesn't see the world through lenses of race because he wasn't raised like that. He wasn't raised to watch civil rights movies and to be aware of the stuff that we really struggled and went through. But I was. So I see life through race. And that's a flaw, or maybe not. We don't know. For example, I watch TV, and when I'm watching TV in the morning, like the news and the commercials come on, I pay attention to the messaging of the commercial. So because of my lens, I noticed this morning that the AIDS commercial used a black male who appeared to be feminine. So it was appearing to be a black gay male as the spokesperson for AIDS. And I'm like, they use white people for all commercials. Why not use a white man for this? Why give this commercial to a black person? And then there was another commercial about like basically boo-booing on yourself all the time, or always having like bubble guts or something. And they use a black woman. And just talking about how she has to get up from at the restaurant to go boo-boo. And it was a medicine for it. And she was with all black friends. And I'm like, they use white women for all these commercials. Why give this commercial to a black woman? So it's kind of like the things that are seen as like looked down upon or taboo or kind of unsettling or uncleanly. They give those commercials to black people. And then the happy-go-lucky commercials, they give them to white people. And then the black people may be the extras. And so because of my lens, that's how I see, I notice those things where other people may just look at the commercial and may not pay attention that this is a black person as the spokesperson for HIV medicine. And so I say that to say, you seeing things and you approaching it like everybody's against me, nobody likes me, nobody wants to be my friend, and the world is vicious, the world is cruel, the world is against me. And it's really a normal human experience that a lot of people go through, but you're going to have to change your mindset and what you're saying to yourself so that you'll start to maneuver a little differently. Now this one just is called Talks with Tony. Don't have a title. How long we've been going? 22 minutes. I got a couple texts coming in. I got to keep looking at this camera just in case. My wife's shoes. She got to go to a wedding, and she ordered some shoes that they haven't shipped in. So they supposed to come today, and I hope they do, because her flight not until later tomorrow. Y'all forgive me, I just be talking. Thank you for answering my question. Also, maybe I already answered the question, or she's just thanking me in advance. And God bless you and your beautiful family. I am so blessed that I found you on YouTube. I was watching the video and you said a man will not be perfect. But then I watched another video where you said his flaws won't be deal breakers. I guess I'm confused because I don't know if it applies to standards as well. For instance, I thought this guy I was talking to was a decent guy, but I found out he was a theft and attempted to steal a phone. This all happened in front of me because the ringer was off in his pocket. I feel like I answered this one. He attempted to play it off and the owner caught him. Yep, I think I answered that one. So maybe she done sent that in twice. Yeah, I answered that one. I believe. Let me see. Am I trying to rush the process in life right now? Let me see. Hey, Mr. Tony, I hope this email finds you well. Sidebar comment. My friend and I always joke and say, did you see Brother Tony's video today? Yes, ma'am. Yes, girl. It was like that. An urban Ebonics term similar to, why, yes, I did, and it was great. For the people listening to this that don't understand the slang. I thoroughly enjoy listening to your video while I'm working, driving, and etc. I have been listening to you since I was about 24. My dad is a pastor, and we have summary discussions about your videos all the time. Please bring the podcast back. LOL. Well, now I'm starting a new podcast with Caleb, and it's called Louder Than Words. And if I remember, I'll put the link to the YouTube channel in the description so y'all could go subscribe, because we got to get to 1,000 subscribers and then get 4,000 watch hours. Then YouTube turn the page into a business, so then it could kind of take care of itself. So if I put the link in the description to that page, y'all make sure y'all subscribe if you get to this point in the video. Anywho, and it's going to be talking a lot about manhood and masculinity, healthy masculinity, things of that nature. So if you're a woman, it still will be intriguing and engaging. And then we may go to different cities and do live podcasts with a few of y'all who in that city, kind of like a first come, first serve on little topics. Anywho, I'm not sure where I fit in the world, and that saddens me a little. I'm actually tearing up while typing that, but I am 29 with 2 kids, boy 9 and daughter 5. Their dad 30, and I met in high school at 15 and 16. Dated on and off until I got pregnant with our son at 20. Although we weren't practicing abstinence, shortly after my son's first birthday, he decided to pop the question. I'm going to bypass the logistics of everything, but so by the time I'm 22, we are married with 1 child. I found out he was talking to other women and we split for a while. He begged me back and we worked it out, but it was kind of never the same because I didn't trust him. He tried to become very controlling and monitor who I was friends with and where I was going, all of those things. But I never fed into it with him, which would cause me coming home to an argument. A few years ago, maybe he and I decided that I was no longer able to take his antics, and I started positioning myself to leave. But lo and behold, the day I go to talk to his mom about me leaving, I find out I was pregnant with my daughter. I was disappointed in myself, but I felt that I wouldn't be doing right by my daughter by not having her grow up with her dad in the house like my son. So again, I decided to try and work it out. This whole time he refused marriage counseling, SMH. I was so foolish. And then boom, around the time right before my daughter is born, I found out he is talking to other females again. At this point, I am done completely and wanted out as soon as I had my daughter, but she was born with some health issues which caused me to stay out of work longer than expected. She is fine now, thank God. Throughout this time, there is no physical abuse, but a lot of verbal and mental abuse going on both ways. Both ways. Sometimes women put all the blame on the men instead of taking accountability, but I can admit I too was immature about things, Mr. Tony. At this point, I'm still focusing on myself and kids while faking the happy wife lifestyle. Months go by and his father and I have a disagreement regarding the treatment of my kids, and his dad, barges into our home, yelling, arguing, and fussing at me like he was crazy. My then husband just stood there and did not say a word. He didn't stop the belittling argument until I started calling my brothers and uncles. Dad lives in another city. Husband then agreed with what his dad did, and I was floored. I was shocked, hurt, and broken by this, and if we are being honest, I lost respect for both of them that day. In 2020, I woke up one morning, went to work like another normal day, stayed there for about 3 hours, clocked out, and then went to pack my things. The kids and I were gone before he got off work. He was totally blindsided by this and said he didn't understand or see why I was doing this. That's applause. And didn't understand why I was doing this. He then tried every trick in the book Accept marriage counseling. Capital letters. This mean capital letters. This mean parentheses. And she put a bunch of exclamation marks at the end. He tried every trick in the book except marriage counseling to get me to come back, but I just did not feel the same. I wanted so bad for our marriage to work, but unfortunately it did not. We co-parent pretty good for the most part, but he still asks me to be spread eagle every now and then. SMH. I respectfully decline. Disrespectfully every time. Throws up in my mouth because you really must think sis is one of them. The last time he asked a few weeks ago, I said, it's funny that you think you will ever have that type of access to me again. He got mad and hung up the phone. Our divorce was final last year, and I've done so much healing, and I love the person and mom I've become. Even lost about 70 pounds. Although I have gone on dates here and there, but it's definitely been subpar. I really feel as though I've become too comfortable being alone. I do have a friend, 28, one daughter, 4 years old, that I like and talk to from time to time, but we both decided to remain friends because we both were coming out of long-term relationships with baggage, and he is very focused on finishing his bachelor's and starting his business. Honestly, I was hurt by that, but I understood. At this moment, I feel very stagnant. I'm in school set to graduate in health admin next year, but is it wrong that I feel like I'm just not doing enough? Or should I look at it like I'm just where I'm supposed to be at this moment? This email went longer than I expected, and I hope you were able to take some water sip breaks in between. May God continue to bless you, Miss Cherie and the boys, in the greatest ways possible. Thanks for the wisdom and lessons. I added some photos for context. This is us at Christmas this past year. Then the family picture in blue is one of the last family pictures we took about 4 years ago before I buckled down to leave. So let me see here. Okay, I can see your son and daughter. Real cute kids. Okay, I can see the guy. Yeah, insecure guy. Kind of, overlooked. And I can see, yeah, that is interesting. That is so interesting. Now, that is interesting. Now, you done lost 70 pounds, which is good. It's good for your health. And we all of our looks lump us in. So however we look, it determines how the world treats us. And here's the thing. Now, your daddy a pastor, but you were doing your own thing and not practicing, the Christian lifestyle, which I did as well. Most of us do that. Oh, okay. Y'all was looking at your husband. Ex-husband. He got a Mario Kart hoodie on. I ain't never seen that hoodie. And then on the other one, he got the blue stripe button down with the khaki pants. So here's the thing. You actually are a pretty woman, but because of the media and how society portrays us, if you have what my mama called meat on your bones, you get overlooked. And a lot of times you will get chosen by down low men or men who are very insecure. So a man who is confident and fit, he won't choose a woman who is not at her best shape. And so that's why losing that weight is making you feel better. You livening up, and you got to keep going on that journey. It's a journey of self-love. And it's not about, some people say, oh, accept your body how it is. Yeah, you accept your body how it is when you're doing everything you can do and your body settles at a weight. that's where you accept your body. But if you know you're not working out 3 times a week, like hard workouts, burning like 400, 800 calories, at least 400 calories on them workouts. If you know you're not doing that to keep that heart rate up or getting that heart rate up, even if you get your heart rate up for 15 minutes a day, or walk 30 minutes a day, it don't have to be real hard stuff, but you just doing that, it's doing something for you. And so that will also boost your confidence. So I'm on my little weight loss journey, and to be honest with you, eating healthier and fasting here and there, intermittent fasting, just trying to put better food in my body and more water in my body, it make you feel better. I feel lighter, I feel more energetic, I feel better, I feel healthier. And when you think about eating bad, it kind of like, ugh. And you realize what you were doing to yourself. So with this guy here, he really soft. I could tell he really soft. Unfortunately, I could just look at it and tell. And I can't really spell it all out because it won't make sense to anybody. It's just kind of a gift when you have been so quiet and you study people and you read people. You just can see in somebody's eyes why they are the way they are. And all the way down to how a person hold their hand. And so you naturally got more swagger than him. And what put him on your level is that society just doesn't praise a woman who has meat on her bones. And now I see where you lost 70 pounds because the other picture is you look like a different person. You look like a different person. And that's a blessing that you on that journey. And what I could see from him, he kind of, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, what I was saying last time when I was talking about the rapper A$AP Rocky, and women talking about, oh, he beautiful, oh, he beautiful. And what I was saying is like, yeah, y'all think he beautiful because you're looking at millions of dollars of skincare. You're looking at millions of dollars of facials. You're looking at perfect hair. You're looking at very healthy hair that's braided or plaited. You're looking at very well dressed. You're looking at success. But that look is the same look that was put on slave movies. When you look at slave movies, but they just got same color men, same features, but they just got short hair that's not combed or not brushed. And they have no money. So we look at them totally different. A lot of people don't want to understand this. And so your husband in the picture where he doesn't have on a hat, and y'all with y'all kids, he looked like the men in the slave movies. And so they pick this look, like when you not the lead character of 12 Years a Slave, but like Kuta Kinte on Roots. They pick this look of black men. Now I can't remember in Roots if there's like a light skinned black man or a lighter brown skin, or a man with a black man with blue eyes or gray eyes or hazel eyes or whatever y'all call it. They pick a certain look, and that look represents the look of Africans when brought to America. And so what you have to realize is, as the different genetics mix with different people from different areas, features start to evolve, features start to change. But if a person has those original traditional features, they are discriminated against in America by a large portion of society, even people who look like them. And this is a fact. This is true. This is not my opinion. This is what we see happening in the world. So y'all have to understand, when I'm explaining this, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying this is, how it's supposed to be. I'm just explaining the culture. So with your ex-husband, he has a very interesting look. And honestly, a lot of the best athletes kind of have that look. And it's really seen as like this strong physically strong black man. But not aesthetically, what the media portrays as a handsome black man. So y'all do me a favor, and I'll give you an example. Google Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens quarterback. When you see his jaw structure and how it go down to his chin, even that hairstyle, because you got to think, that hairstyle, what a lot of guys wearing, and that's kind of the hairstyle that A$AP Rocky wear, but that hairstyle also come from slavery at times. That they had lower hair, but how would they cut their hair? They didn't have clippers. So did they have scissors? What they use, a machete? Like, how would they cut their hair? So if it start to get long, then if they plait it or braid it, then it's gonna just be like that. And if it get fizzy and fuzzy because there's no hair grease, you just living your life. You're a slave. And so that look, and then this certain look to where when you look at somebody and you see what we call 100% black, it's discriminated against. So my mentee said to me, he said, man, it got to be some kind of mix in your family somewhere. And really what he was saying is because of my eye color, because of like my sister look, she kind of looked Asian or some type of Indian type with black. And so it's probably a mix somewhere. So what the media try to do is find biracial or racially ambiguous looks to market their products, to market the movies, to be in the movies. And so that's why you'll see people, glow up and have certain roles. And then you'll see certain people be kind of typecast into a certain type of role. And it's always this same type of role. Like if they use Angela Bassett, she's going to be in an angry black woman role or like a strong woman's role, like a woman who has masculine energy, like an attorney or a police officer or a detective. But very rarely, and she maybe have had this in her career, but very rarely are they going to put her in the innocent housewife role. They're going to typecast her into a role. And so that then plays down into society. So when you got a man who looks like your ex-husband, they get overlooked by black women. They get overlooked by white women. They get overlooked by all types of women just because of their African-esque features. And the features are not Americanized, meaning just kind of mixed with something. Native American, white, at somewhere from back down the line. Asian, Hispanic. Somewhere not having that mix, you go through a lot. And so what these type of men, your ex-husband, he'll be overlooked unless he's a star athlete. If he's a star athlete, then he gonna have women. And then who they'll end up getting with is a woman who she comfortable in her own skin. She not kept down by society and feeling like she gotta be this perfect person. And so you being a pastor's, I think you say you're a pastor's daughter, you got your dad, y'all discuss things. You could have been spoiled. You could have had everything you needed. You could have been well taken care of or what have you. And so you're a good woman, you're a strong woman, but you chill, you humble, you're not trying to do the most. So he'll end up being with you because you accept him for him. Because you're not judging him for that. But now you leaving him letting his daddy bust in there and do that, and you leaving him, that was the best thing you could do. And I'm so proud to hear that. I'm glad y'all co-parenting. And I'm glad that when he try you, you can turn him down. Because he probably, as men, we feel ownership over a woman's body once we sleep with her. And then especially if she have our kids, a toxic man will feel ownership over her body and feel like he can have her anytime he want to. And a lot of women play into that. And so this morning when we woke up, this is just a prime example. My wife was in the bathroom getting ready and I texted her some adult little session before she leave, and she texted me. She was like, I'm running really behind, but okay. But then when she came out of the bathroom, she walked right on past, went right on her closet, got dressed, went on right on by her business. And I had to text her back right before she walked out, like, no, it's cool. I'm just talking. But I do that sometimes. Just be, my mind, I might want me a little something. But I love the fact that my wife is not a sex slave. I love the fact that if I say something and I could just be joking, or I could be talking, or I could be halfway serious, that if it's not convenient for her, she not finna do nothing. If it ain't, if she tired, if she gonna let me know. And I love that because it means that she feels safe. It means she feel comfortable. She feel like a human. She feels valued. She feels respected, and she don't feel like a piece of property. She don't feel like a slave under my watch, under my ownership. But she feels like a person who has feelings, who has emotions, who has headaches, who has ups and downs and good days and bad days. And I love that. Whereas a lot of men get mad about, oh, you my wife, you supposed to be able to do that whenever I get ready to do that. But then the woman just become a bucket. And she start to lose herself with every waking day. And so that's what a lot of men expect. And that's why he trying you like that. That's why he try you like that. But that's why I say we got to. Because we don't get that enough. We do not get that enough. Women leaving. We don't get it enough. We read these letters and just taking them back over and over and over and over and over and over. Hey, I know that's right in y'all ear because the microphone right behind you. But that video that had 776,863 views since 2017. It's only 9 seconds, so they can't get paid for that. But imagine that thing was long now. So now listen to me. If y'all want to start YouTube, I got the course. And until next Thursday, you get 38% off on the courses, excluding the life coach certification. Excluding means it's not included. So all the other courses, before you check out, you click coupon code and you put big BIG 38, big 38, all one word, lowercase. Then you hit apply and it'll take off 30% of the course. Get the YouTube course, because as I'm looking at this right here, somebody got a 2-hour relaxing screensaver with Valentine's Day abstract hearts. And so this is, if somebody put this on their screensaver and they hit play and they just let this play and they monetize their channel, this thing got 119,000 views. If they get $10 for every 1,000 views, that's 119 times $10. You see what I'm saying? So $1,200 off that video. And then they ain't have to do no work. They ain't talking, they ain't doing no video. You see what I mean? So get on to TonyGastonAcademy.com, link in the description, and get your course 38% off. Big BIG, listen now, Big BIG 38, Big 38 until next Thursday morning, 9 a.m. You're 901, you write in, hey, I just missed it, I was working, my foot fell off. Sorry, you're gonna have to catch the next one now. You had all week. You done had all week. So it'll be March 10th, 9 a.m. It'll be over with. It expires, okay? Understand that. So now, this right here, we don't see women leaving enough, and I just want to spend some time to celebrate this sister because she was married and she divorced his butt, and her daddy is a pastor. That's another lesson. Don't let religion and church folks keep you in something that's killing you. God know your heart. God know what you're doing. God know why you left. And if he'll forgive a murderer, he'll forgive you. Do not let no marriage, death do us part, does not mean until somebody kill you. It does not mean until somebody run you to an early grave. That ain't what it means. So if somebody breaking their covenant, they talking to other women, other men, they cheating, they controlling any form of ill, get gone. Get gone. So I just want to celebrate this sister. I'm glad you left. God bless you. And I'm wishing you the best. Keep going. Keep pressing. And thank y'all so much for the support. Shout out to the moderators. Blessed Tribe, Blessed Business Tribe. Blessed Business Tribe got a video for y'all coming this Saturday at noon. That y'all will see. It may be for everybody, but it's for the Blessed Business Tribe. And then to the Patreon, thank y'all so much. I put the link in the description for the Patreon support. We casting right now, but I'm casting to the people who on Patreon for some projects we working on. So you won't see those if you're not on the Patreon. But when we produce the projects, you'll get to watch it on YouTube, because it's producing it for YouTube, but it's funded by the Patreon supporters. So they all producers on the projects going forward. So hey, God bless you. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.